Today is a time of mysticism, the supernatural, mystery, and spooky stories. When I was in college, I had a friend who never missed a party. Funny girl, good-natured. Never got lost in any company. You shouldn't write scary stories about her, but a funny story. But the only thing that pissed me off about the girl was her silly saying. Almost every time, as asked to do something to transfer, or even just a door to the building to hold, she always said the same strange words. Give me your soul, then I will do it. Well, a lot of guys and girls said. I do, but help me quickly. It's a joke, of course, especially when you're young, you don't believe in all sorts of devilry. She tried to catch me that way too, I don't remember how many times. I probably would have given it to her because of my youthful stupidity. But one detail embarrassed me. I knew that my classmate was from a remote Siberian village. And in such places people do not throw words. And here, too, a suspicion arose that she was not joking, but doing everything for an incomprehensible purpose. Many years have passed since then. I graduated from the institute long ago, I lived through all the crises and hard times. But one day, in a difficult situation, I decided to turn to one witch, or do not know exactly what they are called. My wife persuaded me to go on recommendation. I needed advice on a deal. And imagine the surprise when I came to the apartment to this magician, and it turned out that this is my former classmate conducts an appointment. Of course, changed a lot, but not to look like her years. She recognized me, too. We had a good time with her, we talked. About my deal, she told me everything. She was so specific, she scared me a little. When we were done with business, we talked about our college days. We reminisced about friends who had moved away and some were no longer in this world. I remembered her saying. Jessica, I said. Why did you keep asking for a soul? Did you have such a proverb in your village? Very much I hoped that she was joking, and that's all. But Jessica looked at me very carefully. I only now noticed that the look is heavy, frowning. A creepy look. Come on, I'll show you interesting artifacts. I was nervous. I realized that I do not want to see anything. I just want to leave this dark apartment, smelled of candles and herbs. But it was strange to refuse. We went to the next room. Jessica stopped at a large carved cabinet with incomprehensible writing carved on the doors. She opens them and steps aside. I see shelves in the cabinet, all filled with glass vials. Each one has a colorless liquid in it and something floating inside. And on the lid there's a piece of paper with an inscription on it. I felt sick at the sight of these vials. I took a step toward the cabinet to understand what was floating inside the bubbles and what was inscribed on the paper. It turned out to be human hair. I don't know how she managed to get it. And the pieces of paper had names and surnames on them. Some were familiar to me, they were friends and girlfriends from student life. But most importantly, there were hundreds of vials inside that damned closet. And many were already standing empty, and the names on the pieces of paper were smudged with red paint. What for? I could only manage to squeeze myself out. I felt it was hard to breathe. I ripped the collar of my shirt, tearing off the buttons, which rolled across the floor with a rattle. My grandmother was a witch, my mother was a witch, and I carry on the family tradition. If you knew how easily people part with the most valuable things. And with that kind of merchandise, I won't go anywhere. My only regret is that I couldn't persuade you to give me your soul. Jessica's horrible laugh took me by surprise. It wasn't the laughter of an ordinary woman. But something creepy who simply takes the form of a person easily. Without looking at her, I jumped out of the room and ran through the apartment in one fell swoop. I felt it was terribly big for some reason, even though it was in an ordinary house. As I opened the door, I could hear Jessica's terrible laughter. It was only outside that I felt better and managed to pull myself together. And now, if even before I understood that words have weight, then since that time I began to think even more before I opened my mouth. Thank you for watching my videos. Subscribe to the channel, give me likes if you liked it. This is very important to me.